at this point, man. What's going on?
Gringos in the house, straight out of Hialeah, no doubt. East 10th Street, where we play out. Here we bring the Miami crowd. Alex, the boy with the B. Step into rhythm, feel the heat. Street vibes mixing with the Latin tree. In our flow, the two worlds meet. East 10th Street boys, bring the party. Bring the noise from Hialeah with some joy.
Drinking water like that.
Well, I'm telling you, bro. I'm focused, bro. I'm focused, man. Yeah, inside out.
You know who I am by now.
Identify as.
You know, hey. When Alex takes a shower, the dude goes for 3 hours. I mean, it's like, you know he's going to be gone for a while. You have time. Do whatever you're going to do. Go grocery shopping. Go eat dinner.
Latin spice and neon lights.
Well. Good evening, Miami. Buenos noches. ¿Cómo estás? Bien, gracias. I'm Fabio.
You gotta work on your accent, man.
Hola, ¿cómo está? Muy bien, gracias.
You should be saying this way more fluently than you do.
Welcome to East 10th Street Boys, straight out of Hialeah. This late evening hour, 9:48 p.m. Sorry for the delay. We were catching up. It was my bad. We were supposed to talk last night. All the back and forth stuff.
Yeah.
But I missed the call.
There's nothing better than I'm gonna give you a call later, and perfect. I leave a beautiful voicemail. I don't know if you heard.
Oh yeah,
it or not.
real beautiful.
It was very brief. It was very brief to the point. Exactly what I needed to get my point across. Telemundo. Oh my God! But we gotta get you to do the goal. The guy from Argentina, the goal.
Yes, I do that. I do. I'm exaggerating. Audrey is going to do soccer this year for the first month of school.
Are you the announcer?
Her first time. And I said, when she scores, I'm go, mira muchacha, go, Española, go, and just be excessive.
Española, go.
I don't give I'll just say the whole damn thing. But no, we're gonna be a fun show tonight. Obviously. Yeah. Going to talk Dolphins football, Dolphins season, the preseason. It's going to start on Friday night. It's finally here. We'll talk about, obviously, expectations. We had a great show last night on Fins TV about that. But I'm going to talk a little more about that with Alex tonight, about why maybe this could be the time for Dolphin fans to buy into the Hopium of the Miami Dolphins and what we mean by that. Not where it's like, oh, what are these guys talking about? Super Bowl this year? That's not where I'm going.
Realistic up. Yeah.
But we're also going to talk about primetime heat. The Heat are back. And then we're going to get into other things as well. The DCC, all there. Look, Brett Lagasse's in the comments. You got DSG, Brandon walking forward there. Man, you got everybody. 305 Sports. Will Patron, thank you for your donation, sir, for the Dolphins Cancer Challenge. I appreciate it. Manraj in the house. Hog Dog. Wow, man. We got the SoFlo Sports Show in the house. Appreciate you. Man, Alex, we got almost a full house coming in here. I love it, man.
Nice people, man. I miss y'all. Missed y'all. Beautiful.
There you go.
Thank you for joining us.
Before we do get started on tonight, and I can't wait to hear from Brett in the comments about what we're going to discuss, because I can't wait for him to get back into overtime with Greg and Evan. I know Evan said they're working on that, so looking forward to seeing that and hearing what their thoughts on John Eric Sullivan and Coach Hafley. And before we get into our thoughts and all that, we got some very important things to talk about, or a very important subject to talk about at the start of the show. And then we'll get towards the second half of the show. We'll get into the DCC. But before we do, Alex, take the floor, talk about what's important and what you want to bring up.
Well, I was talking to Bobby off air, and this for some of y'all saw my post, and Bobby was able to repost it for me. This one hits closer to home. This is I posted in regards to a young girl named Emma Huergo. That to our extended FTSN family, for your guiding light, whatever God you believe in, her prayers for her family. She was currently in ICU. She was involved in an accident on Monday. Obviously, I won't give details for the privacy of the family, but our kids were raised together. She's basically like a niece of mine. This is my wife's best friend's daughter. They grew up together themselves. So this is a lifelong partnership, a family, sisterhood. And whenever you see your kids, or whenever you see anybody else's children in a moment of crisis, in a moment of need, it goes beyond what you could feel as a father. as a brother, as a friend. So words really don't do it justice. But I am a big believer, as they are, the power of prayer, the power of unity, and obviously anybody out there that can further push this along the way, I will be greatly appreciated. The family appreciates it as well. She is a flag football star. She's 11 years old, about to start a middle school. Well, was going to start middle school tomorrow. So I know this, God willing, is just going to be a bump on the road, a huge bump on the road. But her family needs the prayers. Her family needs the strength. So anybody out there, any well wishes, just one thought, just one positive thought, sending it her way to her families. I know most of y'all don't know her. Probably no one knows her. But usually this is when communities unite and when messages get across. And I'm a firm believer in that. And you've known me my whole life. When there's true belief, when there's true hope for somebody, a well wish, that unity that gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And it, like Bobby mentioned off air, it's not only for the patient, in this case a child, it's for the family. That's the most important thing here, because they need that strength. Because sometimes they wake up and they have no idea what happened, but what goes through the day to day, the agony, the anguish, the improvements little by little, the back steps, the continual improvement is families and the support system that they have. So I just want to extend my love to them, and obviously from the community, from Miami, from our listeners as well. I appreciate it beforehand, and just thank you for anything that you can do or will do.
No, absolutely. And again, I'll say now, like you said, Alex, more likely nobody knows her. Well, they know her now.
They know her now.
And again, whether it's, strong prayers or good vibes, send them her way, send them the family's way, especially, us as fathers, we know, we don't want to live that feeling. We don't want to have that feeling. That's one of our worst nightmares. And parents are dealing with that now. So say a prayer for them tonight, say for a prayer for them now, send them some good thoughts, and pray for her for a quick and successful recovery, so she may continue to kick ass in flag football and have an awesome flag football career and a beautiful life. So
thank you, my man.
Now, I don't know if we should have wrapped with that, because I'm gonna go. Okay,
no, it's okay. It's normal.
But
yeah.
We'll get back to football. But anyway, it's important, and I appreciate DSG and Brett with the nice comments
appreciate
there,
it, my man.
And look, Manraj, how are you, my friend? Great to see you. Let's see here, Brett. Just talking quickly. Reality is they had to tear this roster down. The draft wasn't full of talent. I like them going after their guys. That's important, and that's one of my points yesterday. This year is about them building a culture. Again, what we talked about yesterday. Realistically, what we should hope to see is a well-coached team. He sees a 4 to 5 win team. It's not a great roster. Douglas Bell, Rodriguez, Lewis, Coleman. I think they all can have an impact, but I don't know how much of a one. Rodriguez, I think, has the chance to make the biggest impact. Munraj, Bobby, Malik Washington didn't have a good year last year, and he wasn't good. Do you think they should move to Toto Abbott, a wide receiver 2, and Malik Washington to backup wide receiver? Munraj, very quick on that as we get into this conversation. Just right now, Malik Washington didn't really have an opportunity to shine last year. First off, because he wasn't really given a chance to. With Jalen Waddle and what was going on with Miami and the focus on the offense and other guys this year, again, it's too early to tell. I know that him and Malik Willis have, from what I've heard and what I've read and followed up on, have built a very good chemistry. So I don't expect them to move on from him quickly. At any time soon. We'll see as training camp continues and preseason continues. The great thing about the wide receiver group right now is that it's completely wide open. So, I'm not in a rush to push in Tutu Atwell, because my goal right now for this season, as a Dolphins fan, or my hope, is to see what Malik Washington can do in a extended role in a prime spot. Same thing with a Caleb Douglas or a Chris Bell when Bell gets healed up. I want to see those guys in extended roles. We've seen Tutu Atwell. We know of Jalen Tolbert. And now if they get the starting spot, they get the starting spot, and great, right? Whatever helps the team win, even though expectations are, and they're not going to win a lot of games. So I want to see this season what we have in these guys. So my hope, unless Malik Washington is just a total bust, which I do not expect,
I doubt
unless he is a total bust, I'm not moving off of him as quickly as maybe you would like to, and that's okay. Everybody to each their own. I'm just not rushing to Tutu Atwell right now. I want to see Washington get a chance to have an opportunity to build that relationship with Malik Willis, and then see, like, hey, we have something in this kid. Maybe he could be that wide receiver 1, 2, or 3 behind with Bell and Douglas if it all works out. I appreciate the question, though, and I understand where you're coming from. Talking about starters, and I want to get Brett's comment here. Brett, co-host of the Fids Talk Overtime show here on FTSN, will be back live this coming season. He says Malik Washington is too versatile for them to move on. He can play special teams and make plays on offense. Atwell will be competing with Coleman and Tolbert at wide receiver. Yes, Kevin Coleman, who's another rookie receiver who might have an opportunity to be as returner as well. And I'm going to say, don't sleep on him either. But yes, everything Brett's saying is right on the money, and I think that's why he may have that opportunity. Let's look at the starters very quick. From the first depth chart, if we could pull that up. Let's go. So first off, the first thing there, let's start with the very top on offense. Caleb Douglas, rookie wide receiver. A lot of groans on the draft shows when Douglas was drafted by the Miami Dolphins as early as he was. This is a guy I liked coming out of college. I didn't see him going that early, but didn't hate it. Has the size, has the speed, can make plays. And obviously he's making noise in training camp. He is projected, at least at the start here, as the starting wide receiver. Of course, Patrick Paul, Caden Proctor, Aaron Brewer, Savanea at right guard, who's made some noise in camp this training camp so far. He's done better at right guard, which should have been his natural position to start with. It just is his natural position. Should have been his starting position last year. Austin Jackson, Dulcich at tight end, Malik Willis projected to start on Friday. Devon Achane, Malik Washington, and Jalen Tolbert. Those are your 3 starting receivers. On defense, Kenneth Grant, Zach Sealer, Chop Robinson, who many people were calling a bust after last year. The whole damn Dolphins team was a bust, but he comes back in better shape and is making some noise. Made some noise today when the Dolphins kind of underperformed in their co-team and against Washington in their joint practices. Uche at starting edge, Jordan Brooks, Dotson, Jacob Rodriguez, who I agree with Brett, could be maybe the most impactful rookie. Definitely making noise already. Chris Johnson, Jason Marshall Jr. as your starting corners, Dante Trader, Lonnie Johnson, and then, of course, rounding out with the specialists, Riley Patterson, Bradley Pinion, Thomas Eddington, and then Malik Washington as your returner for both punt and kick returns. Alex, you look at this starting lineup for at least week 1 of the preseason. Your thoughts?
Man, the possibilities. I know when you talked about the Hopium,
yes.
Kind of like when you're getting your home built and you just see the foundation being laid out. Like, you don't see your finished home, but you see the beginning of something that they're building. And what stood out to me, aside from Achane already, of course, and Caleb Douglas being there, Jacob Rodriguez, another, like, everybody that we drafted this year has an opportunity to have some sort of effect on the season somewhere, somehow, even if it's just development purposes. But I just look at the offensive line, and I'm really intrigued by that company. I know the right side is a question mark when it comes to health and proper positioning, with Savanea being in the right position, like you just mentioned. But we have a solid foundation in that offensive line, man. That left side and the ability of Malik Willis to be able to flush the pocket and extend the plays. Like, people talk about Malik Washington. I think he's going to be a surprise breakout player this year. I think Malik could be Malik's safety blanket in that aspect, where he's a stud, talented receiver in regards to, he can run a short route, he can run the in routes, he can run everything. And little by little, like Brett's mentioning, Chris Bell is going to get healthier and healthier and healthier, and that is the steal of the draft. And I know that was the one you were clamoring for, you were banging on the table for, you were telling your neighbors, you were telling everybody, like, you got to get Bell, man. So I share that, and you know where I come from. People always, you're hopeful. Yeah, I'm hopeful, but and I tell my wife this. Hey, look, this year's a full rebuild, Alex. But you say, I'm like, no. there was hope. Like they were patching things up, and you were kind of hopeful because we had a crazy offense. But this legit right now, everything is being built brand new, from the front office to the players to the staff, everything across the board. This has never, even the CEO of the team, even the managing general partner, this is a transition, man. Like we have been asking for this for almost 15 years, maybe more. And now you're seeing it all in one offseason, and you're like, and what I love, and this is, I think we can attest to this, a true Dolphins fans, what we appreciate is the honesty. Eric Sullivan and Hafley have been honest with everything they have communicated, and they've held their word, and they've committed to their word, and they've brought it to light. Everything that Sullivan said he was going to do, he has done. I love the way Hafley is building this team up, but the way he sounds like it has to be organic, and this team has to believe in itself. That's a true building foundation where, yeah, we might lose a lot of games, but you're going to see glimpses of greatness and glimpses of development. And every position, every talented position there, wide receiver, cornerback, you hit, if you hit on all the picks you did, and you're not going to hit on every single pick, but you have rotational pieces there where you have a Caleb Douglas where a lot of people, we reached for him. Sullivan and the staff saw something in him. Now, how he produces will determine if he was a reach or not. And I don't believe he was a reach. I believe he has all the attributes necessary to be successful in this type of offense. So, and when Chris Bill gets healthy, you're talking about this year alone, and you possibly drafted 5 or 6 multiple year starters going down the line. And that's a very productive draft. For it to be the beginning with your salary cap situation, next year, this is a whole different ballgame, man. Like, people don't realize that. We're like that team that's just playing on a minimum. We have so much dead cap that you have a bunch of players just on minimum. So you just got to survive that. You got to develop this year. And if you make a run, if you get an exciting playoff run by any miracle of God, that's just a plus, man. But there's no expectation for that. This is just expectation for development, improvement, and see what you have as a building block.
I again, everything you hit is why I'm excited for this season and why I think Dolphin fans should buy into the Hopium, because there is no expectations. There shouldn't be any expectations this year in regards of wins or losses. I mean, losses, right? Brett brings up in the comments 5 wins. Sammy's brought up 3 wins. Pamela, our good friend Pam, a friend of the channel, a longtime viewer and a friend of mine in the Dolphins community, she says, she could see 7 wins. It's great, right? But really, there's no expectation because what the roster is. And yesterday I said this, and I'm going to do it again. And the reason why there's a lot of, Sammy brought up yesterday about why the Dolphins aren't getting respect. Why, they're not going to win a game. Oh, they're the 2nd overall pick. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Well, and Brett's not wrong when Brett says they're not a strong roster. Well, because the reason why you have the national pundits saying this and all this is because they're looking on paper. They're looking at that on paper. They're looking at that roster, and they're saying the Dolphins. Look, it doesn't matter what paper says. Okay, that's not what the season's about.
Did you rip the red paper, Bobby? That wasn't anything that you needed. Make sure, just in case.
No, it was right.
Good.
One of my other show notes.
Your wife comes, Bobby. Remember that contract I gave you that I just got from work? They're like, oh,
shit. Yeah. But again, people keep saying, "Oh, it's not a strong roster." It's true, but that's not the reason not to be excited this year. Okay, what's the reason to be excited is for the reasons you brought up and the reasons I've been talking about. Is Chris Greer's gone? We got John Eric Sullivan. Mike McDaniel's gone. We got Coach Hafley. Not only that, Stephen Ross, Tom Garfunkel stepped away. Daniel Silman, who was Stephen Ross' son-in-law, has taken the reins. He actually started taking the reins very early on. He was the reason why they brought in Troy Aikman, who brought in John Eric Sullivan for the interview, and again, Coach Hafley. And look what they did. They didn't just decide, let's just strip away the roster because we want to tank. This is not about tanking. They didn't strip the roster because they were tanking. They strengthened the roster because it was mismanaged. They were in debt. They were overdrafted at the bank. So what did they do? They cut Tua. They'll take the hit. They get rid of Tyreek. They trade Waddle. They trade Fitzpatrick to the Jets. They didn't do that because they're like, oh, we want to lose. They did that because the Dolphins were not going to win. You could be like, oh, man, how many times have we looked at this roster with all these stars year after year and go, we have a shot at the playoffs, man. I think if everything works out and so-and-so's healthy, we're going to do it. We've got to rely on one player. It's not about one player anymore. It's about a team. You can't win unless the foundation of your organization is built right. You have to start at the foundation. You got to lay it down. Alex, you and your late great father, built things a lot at home. Every day, this guy I would leave the house. I'd come home, or I'd live in Orlando, and I'd come to visit the house. He was still living there. These guys built something else. They have a new front porch. They got a new backyard. I don't know what the fuck. They got a new room. They always did something, but they did it right. They didn't just decide to do it. You lay down the foundation, you put the 4 pillars, and then you build everything else around it. You don't just decide, let me throw one stick up and put a roof and hope everything stands. That's what the Dolphins were doing. You got to lay down the foundation. Miami's done that. They said, hey, we got 4 guys. These are the 4 guys we're building around. We got Aaron Brewer, Patrick Paul, Jordan Brooks, Devon Achane. Those are the 4 guys. He never mentioned Jalen Waddle. No. Someone else did.
And all extended except Paul. We're just waiting on Paul's, which is in due time.
Paul is a rookie, right? His second year, so it makes sense. He will get it. But those are the guys. And guess what they did? He extended all of them. Malik Willis falls in that category of pillar right now. You start from there and you move up. People could say, which is true, this was not a strong draft overall in general for the whole NFL. But what's great about this year's draft class, because Sammy asked a great question yesterday on Finn's TV. And if you guys haven't seen that, or if you haven't subscribed, go check out Finn's TV. Go check out last night's episode. Go subscribe to the channel. Great question was, do we expect last year's draft class to do better than this year? What class do you think will do better? And I'm going to say the last year's draft class has a hill to climb. They got to get into this regime's kind of mindset. I think this year's draft class, because they were drafted because they fit what this regime is looking for. Everyone's on the same page. And the prime example of that is Caleb Douglas. Douglas is maybe one of the, we expect Jacob Rodriguez, but Caleb Douglas was the one a lot of people, like, you saw the talent on film. You saw the speed, you saw the size, you saw the catches, but there were some things, it was inconsistent. But they took him anyway. They took him before Chris Bell, and I'm high on Chris Bell. I can't wait for that guy to get into the lineup. I think Miami got themselves a killer duo right now. Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, believe me, we're going to be saying that. Caleb Douglas comes in here, a lot of groans. Everybody loved Jacob Rodriguez. Caleb Douglas, why'd we take him? We could have got him in round 7. No, stop. They took him when they took him. Guess what? He's maybe their most consistent player in training camp.
And he's a ball hawk.
This is what Coach Hafley said about Caleb Douglas, who now is a starter, at least for now. He's been really consistent. He's made some flash plays, and then he's made some plays where he needs to catch the ball. He's probably been one of our most consistent guys. They didn't get a guy who was just a receiver. They didn't get a guy like Malik Willis who's just a quarterback. They got football players. That's the difference between this team and the other team, Dolphins regimes in the past. These are guys that are going to come to work. These are the guys who are going to try their best. Douglas is going to – he isn't what he is yet.
Uh-huh.
The sky's the limit for this guy. They know what they took. I will say have patience. Like Savannah, everybody's like, oh, Savannah is a bust. So Savannah was played out of position. I said, you should have put him at the right side. I loved him coming out of college. I was excited when we got him. He's one of my guys. They put him at left guard. The problem with our last organization, they're so damn stubborn. They're like, no, let's keep him there. He'll figure it out. No, if it's not working, it's not. Some guys could do it. He couldn't. Move him back to his natural position. Now look at all the praise he's getting and the trust that he's getting at the right guard position. Austin Jackson's is the concern right now. Can't stay healthy, can't perform well. So Caleb Douglas being listed as a starter is awesome for the Miami Dolphins. And again, the Hopium, why you should buy into the Hopium is because finally, at least early on, it feels like Miami is doing it right. And I'm not saying this is going to equal into wins this year. It could happen. We never know. But the expectation is there's no expectation. We don't expect to win a lot of games. That's okay. But I'm going to tell you, with that in mind, and Alex and I known each other all our lives, 30 plus years, 35, whatever, how much it's been 30 plus years. This guy knows. Okay. Brett has been on FTSN and has been with me a little before FTSN for a long time. We've had a lot of debates and we agree on a lot of things. He knows me. A lot of times during the season, especially the last few years before the season, I'm like, okay, let's get through preseason. Let's get to the season. Kind of like, let's just get through the year. I don't, you've got great players. I don't expect much. I'm going to tell you something. I don't have expectations this year for wins or anything like that, but this is probably one of the seasons that I'm most excited about. I cannot wait for Friday night for the first preseason game to see these guys on the field for this new era of Dolphins football. Daniel Silman, John Eric Sullivan, Coach Hafley, Malik Willis, the new foundation of this organization. Like, I cannot wait. I hate, how much I'm excited for this. I hate, Alex, that Ralph's not here. That kills me.
And this is a year, Bobby, where you just, everything they were saying, it kept resonating. And I'm like, this is a year where you people see a Caleb Douglas, a reach listed on the first depth chart, and he's listed as a starter. Out of all years, this is the year that there's no hierarchy. Realistically, the only sure thing are a few players that you've extended, which are your pillars, and Malik Willis that you brought in to be your quarterback. Like, there's not going to be a competition there. Malik Willis will start. But everything else, every other position of need, this is the moment that you're playing potential, you're playing growth. You don't have to play anybody just because you paid them X amount of money. That doesn't exist this year.
Done.
You're
done.
paying.
That's done.
You can't perform. Don't worry about it. We already got enough dead cap. We got more dead cap. I don't care. But You're done. That's it. So you're gonna find added pillars to those four that you already mentioned. This year is when you're gonna find added pillars, or at least, I'm not gonna say movable pieces, but adjustable pieces that you can build around yearly. Because not everybody's gonna get extended. That's why you gotta draft well, because you need a continuous pipeline down the line where you continue to replenish your talent. But you have the possibility of finding 6, 7, 8 starters down the line that are already on the team. So you only need to build upon this team. So that's what I'm excited about this year. I just want to see the potential, man.
And this is what I love too, right? I mean, just talking about you said earlier about the rookies, right? I mean, what's great about this team is like a lot of times we draft guys. Man. A lot of guys we draft sometimes don't get these opportunities. Like we just talked about Malik Washington, and even Taj Washington, guys that on this type of roster would get an opportunity to show something, because you don't have those guys clogging the top, the Tyreek Hills and the Jalen Waddles. And of course, those guys should be the starters. They're stars. They're great players. Tua was, sure. But now with a roster like this, you're going to get to see the Caleb Douglas. Like, those guys have real opportunities to get a starting spot and grow with this team and go through the growing pains. Malik Washington building that chemistry with Malik Willis, and maybe seeing whether Malik Willis is the guy or not in the future. Is Malik Washington the guy for the wide receiver position? Like, when Chris Bell comes in here, there's no, Jalen Waddle's going to get the start because we drafted him and Tyreek Hills are big. No, like you said, those days are done. Like, again, Tua, the 5th overall pick, they never got away from him. They didn't want to bring anybody in because they didn't want to hurt his feelings. They didn't want competition because he was the 5th overall pick and he was already upset that they tried to get Tom Brady, and they didn't want to hurt his feelings, so they never brought anybody in. Those days are over. Malik Willis was signed as our starting quarterback. They gave him a contract, but if he doesn't play up the par to what they think up the par is, someone else is coming in. Gone are the days that you just have a job because they signed you to a deal. You were drafted at a certain spot. You need to earn your spot, and you need to earn to keep your spot. If you play like ass week after week, you're going to the bench. That's it.
Your ass is going to be on the bench.
And that's why, again, I'm excited. And, let me see here. I just want to make sure. I don't want to miss anything. Act now. And Bobby will throw in a second shame. Oh, shut the fuck. DSG. My infomercial. Is that what that is? DJ Campbell out of Tech is one of the yes. He intrigues me a lot for interior offensive line. Jackson is clearly not in their future plans. Proctor will likely see time at right tackle. Possibly. Depends on how he does at left guard. I mean, he's built great chemistry. What I've heard, he's got a good chemistry going with Patrick Paul, but we'll see. A lot of question marks. A lot of question marks for this year, for sure. But this is the year to let that happen. This is the year to let that happen, and that's okay. And again, that's what I'm being excited for this season is more about what it means for the years to come. Everyone's on the same page. That's what I love. There's no more infighting. There's no more, oh, well, and then you're hearing the behind the scenes stuff. You don't got any of that. That's what I'm excited for this year. So in regards to Friday, again, Malik Willis is expected to play, which is great. We'll get to see the projected starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins get some reps in, or at least get a series down. Caleb Douglas listed as starter. Achane voted the 26th best player in the NFL in the top 100 by his peers. And again, I think it's pretty well known how excited Alex and I are for the start of the Miami Dolphins season. And what's to come. Like, again, I am ecstatic because I want to see what Caleb Douglas does. I want to see what he does this year. I want to see Malik Willis. Does Malik Willis live up to expectations, to the original expectations that he had when he got drafted by Tennessee? What his expectations are after he left Green Bay. Does Chop Robinson do what he's doing? Does he do what he has done in training camp? I mean, he's looked like the best player on defense. Does he bring that into the season? Do we finally say Chop is the guy? We got the right guy at our edge rusher position. That's what I'm excited about. This is the year to have question marks. When you're expected to make the playoffs, or you have stars on your team like the Tyreeks and the Waddles and the Tuas and the whatever, Jalen Ramsey, Minka, whomever, Bradley, those are not the years to have question marks. You should have your answers done. You should know, hey, okay, we need help there. Let's go get our guy. When you're not expected to win a lot of games, this is the year to have question marks. This year's okay. I'm okay having question marks this year because we're going to get some answers. And guess what? If we don't find the answers this season, we're going to get the fill in the blanks next year and continue to build it the right way. No more shortcuts. That's done. Oh, the Dolphins entertain looking at Stephon Diggs. They didn't do it. Who knows how real that is or not? I don't know. But we don't need Stephon Diggs. No more of, let's go trade for him, and that guy would be the one who pushes over the top. No, it's time to do it right. And it seems like they got that process down pat. And that's why I'm excited for this year. I'm excited to see what's next with the Miami Dolphins. It's okay to have question marks because now we're going to get real answers. There's no more, is Theo Reese a guy? Is he going to be the guy? Can he do something? Let's see what he does. He never shows up after training camp. Because guess what? What are they going to do? They're going to start Theo Reese over Jalen Waddle? No. But now, maybe Taj Washington could do something. Maybe Kevin Coleman, who no one's talking about. Maybe he comes to training camp or a preseason and blows up. And we're going, holy crap, we got somebody here. This year's okay to do that. The secondary is the scariest thing for me right now. Right? We got Jason Marshall Jr. in the second year. We got Chris Johnson. Secondary supposedly got lit up today in joint practices. But, okay. It's not the end of the world because what are we expecting this year? Let me tell you what I'm looking for, Alex. Other than why I'm excited. But, again, win or losses, we'll go crazy. Oh, we lost. This sucks. Blah, 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 whatever. But reality is, okay, the secondary had a bad week one. Let's say that ends up being the case in week one against the Raiders. How do they respond in week two? Or what does the Dolphins do, the coaching staff? What do they do to manage that? How do they adjust? How do they play to those guys' strengths? Or how do they, go, okay, let's go ahead and bring in this guy and maneuver. Like, that's what I'm looking for. Adjustments. That's the most important thing this year. If Malik Willis struggles in one game, does he improve in the next game? Or does he, if he throws a pick, how does he respond in the second drive or in the 2-minute drive when the game is on the line? Does he choke? Does he overthrow? Does he make a stupid play? Or do you see that killer instinct and does he make plays with his legs and then he gets it in the right spot? And maybe it doesn't end up being a win, but you're like, I love what I saw in that final drive by Malik Willis. Or do you have that Tua moment was like, why did he slide before the first down? It was the last play. It's fourth down. That's what I want to see. That's what I'm looking at for this year. More than wins and losses. It's about development, growth, coaching. How does coaching respond? The 2-minute warning, the game's on the line, the plays you call. And if you mess up on a play this week, how do you respond the week after? That's what's important, Alex. What are you looking for
What
this season?
what you just when you went over everything, I just envisioned like Malik Willis, the pocket breaks down, he flushes it, and he rushes for like a 20-yard scramble touchdown, and you're like, damn, we haven't seen that in a very long time. I don't think we've ever seen that from a Miami quarterback because we got Culpepper when he was hurt, so he could barely run at that time. So I'm I'm just to reiterate the potential that comes from this season. That is a success. The growth, the development, that is the only thing. And these are byproducts, by the way, of leading to wins later in the season. This team has the making, in my opinion, when Brian Flores first came, and I know we have Fitzpatrick there as a stopgap, and the team struggled, and then they ended up winning, what was it, like 7 games in a row or 6 games in a row at the end? This team, I know people are talking about this roster is depleted. I think this team's roster is way better than the team that Brian Flores had his first year, talent-wise. They're young, they're hungry. You're trying to prove that you belong. Like that is a front office's dream scenario where you have young players trying to make a name for themselves, trying to establish themselves. Why? Because they're given the opportunity, which otherwise other rookies never have, unless you're a star, if you're a top 10 pick. Because realistically, unless you're in a position of need for a special team, very rarely do players get playing time right off the bat, unless you're elite athletes or situationals. But this team has the making to surprise a lot of people. And I believe we're going to lose some games, a lot of games in the beginning. But as the year goes on, you're going to start seeing the foundational pieces. And I think we're going to surprise some people, man, because this team is not that bad when you put it in situations where you got nothing to lose. So you're the parameter by what you're judging this team is very low. So there's no going to be like anything above mediocrity is going to be a surprise because no one expects this team to do anything. And yet I found myself looking at it and I'm like, yes, we're young. We're going to make mistakes. There's going to be learning curves, but this team is actually pretty talented. Like individually, this team is talented. It's just very young. It's very raw. So I'm looking for the growth within the player, the growth as a team, and also, this is very important, the growth as a staff. This is a first-time general manager. This is a first-time head coach in the professional level. He was a head coach in Boston College. But like there's a feeling, I know you probably feel the same way. Even when there was optimism and we had talent on the for the Dolphins, we always had this feeling of like, what can go wrong? And this year, like, I don't have that feeling. I don't know if it's because we don't have expectations. So obviously you don't fear what can go wrong when there's no expectations. There's only upside from where you are because you are at the bottom of the totem pole, dead cap money. You got players that are on rookie contract, on minimum contracts. You're going to be starting probably 5 or 6 rookies. So yeah, this is a recipe for disaster, but this is also the recipe for a strong foundation that can lead to championship contention. And I don't think we've ever been as close than we are right now to starting that foundation because we always talk about, championships are built in the trenches. That offensive line, once again, I go back to it. I think that offensive line is going to surprise a lot of people in the NFL, Bobby. They're mammoth human beings there and very versatile. Like, I don't think people realize that. Our offensive line is very athletic for their size, especially from the center to the left side. I know the right side is going to be a question every day of the year. But, man, I'm just excited for what potential comes with. There's going to be adversity, like you said, how they handle situations that they can't control, how they handle things that are beyond what they imagine as a staff as well. So it's a purely all-around organizational development. And when you're honest to the fans will back you up. That is one thing that I think the fans were missing. You wanted a clear vision. You wanted a clear mandate. you want to know who's in charge. You want to know who's making the decisions. You want to know that this is now and into the future. And I think that even the change at top, at CEO or managing general partner of the team, that also is a rejuvenating feeling of, okay, this guy was involved with the Sullivan hire. Aikman. Does Aikman become part of the Dolphins front office some way, somehow? He's intrigued by it. I'm intrigued by his input. Obviously, they work cohesively. So there's endless possibilities here, man. And you're still the Miami Dolphins, bro. You're still a classical team in the NFL. Like, it's insane that because we haven't won in so much, but Dolphins are truly part of royalty in the NFL. And our brand has been bad for so long that it was time for a rejuvenation. And I think the time is now. I really do believe so.
Yeah. And so, as I say too, I like that you bring that up. And in regards to the way Miami's looked at around the league, and what you talk about 2019 with this organization and where it stands, I think what's important is the difference between 2019 and this year, even though it feels the same in regards of the tear down and all this, is 2019, they were trying to tank. That was their goal. They wanted to tank. It was Stephen Ross and Chris Greer. Brian Flores did not want to do it. They did it, or they tried to do it. They didn't get the first pick. They got the 5th pick. They didn't get Joe Burrow. They got Tua Tagovailoa. And so the difference between that team and this team is that 2019, they were not on the same page. They wanted the front office wanted to lose. The head coach wanted to win. That's why, it went the way it went. This year, they're all on the same page. They tore this down because they got rid of the toxic players and toxic staff off the roster. They got them out, and they're building this from the ground up. They're not stripping the roster to lose games. They're stripping the roster of the toxic players at the top who were not good role models, not good leaders, and they closed it out. That's the difference. They're all on the same page. Do I think this team is trying to tank? No, I do not think they're trying to tank. Do I think they're going to try to win? Yes, I do believe they're going to win, or they want to win. I do believe they're going to push for it. If they're going to losing week after week, you're going to see changes. You're going to see things because they're going to try to win. It's not about securing a top 5, top 10 pick or top pick. This is about winning football games and setting the right culture. You do not set the right culture by purposely losing football games. That's not what they're doing. They're trying to get the right players in here to build the right system. That's why Malik Willis was signed. That's why the 4 guys were mentioned as pillars, because for the 4 pillars, again, when the Dolphins were playing like ass last year, and you got guys phoning it in, and you got guys throwing guys under the bus after the game, like the quarterback, and guys quitting on the team, and guys not showing up to meetings, and coach throwing his quarterback under the bus, and vice versa, and all this drama and bull crap. You had 4 guys, no matter what the record or the score was, that were doing everything they can to play their best football. And that was Devon Achane, Aaron Brewer, Patrick Paul, and Jordan Brooks. Those are the players. They were re-signed, yes, because first off, they're the tops of their position. But they were also re-signed because they were role models to the rest of the organization. And this is how you are to prepare yourself. This is how you are supposed to be a Miami Dolphin. Play your best football on Sunday, Thursday, or Monday, whatever day that game is. But it's not just about what you do on those game days. It's about what you do on the practice field. It's about what you do in the film room. It's about what you do to prepare. It's about how you represent yourself off the field. And that's exactly what Malik Willis is too. But that's what they saw in Green Bay. This guy was the backup quarterback with very limited exposure. But when he was practicing, he played his best ball. He practiced the hardest. He was crazy in the film room. He did his job, and he prepared to be a starter. And when he got that opportunity, he made the most of it. They saw that. John Eric Sullivan and Coach Hafley, again, they could have easily said, we're not getting Coach. We're not getting Malik Willis. We've seen what he does behind the scenes. No, they saw him and they said, it's not because he wore Green Bay. It's because of how he prepared. And they're like, that's who we want being our starting quarterback.
That's my first major signing. That's
the guy that when we go and get a quarterback, if Malik Willis can't perform well on game day, that's where you got to get a guy who could. But for a guy who could prepare, you want your guys to prepare like that. You can't say enough about Malik Willis as behind the scenes. Secondly, the secondary is the one that concerns me. Pass rush, I've heard a lot of good things about Jobo. I've heard the Chop Rod's been doing really good in training camp. I'm not worried about the pass rush. Not worried about the pass rush. I think those guys are going to play with a chip on their shoulder. Jobo and Robinson, and I think those are going to be fine. I see that in the comments there. But moving on as we get into 45-minute mark, let's talk some Heat basketball. The Miami Heat, this offseason made their major splash. Talk about getting their whale. They finally got their whale in Giannis Antetokounmpo. And now, something we haven't seen in a long time, they're prime time again. Alex, opening night. They're playing opening night against the Timberwolves.
I was stunned by that one. I was really stunned by that one. I was like, whoa.
Dude, look at this. I mean, I think these are the games that I know of.
Yeah.
Wolves versus Heat versus 76ers on Prime, Heat versus Knicks on Black Friday, Heat versus Celtics on, I mean, oh my goodness, I cannot wait
Christmas.
for that.
That's the one, man.
And it's Spurs versus Heat on President's Day.
You know what? And now I want to ask your take on this. I'm actually upset with the NFL with this because Christmas was always basketball. Like that was the NBA's day. Like Thanksgiving is NFL's day. Like, we don't fuck with that, right? No. Why is the NFL trying to just get on top of? But now, if you notice what the league is doing, the first game now I think is like at 12, because the NFL first game is like at 1:00 or 2. So they're like, oh no, we're gonna go ahead of you, man. We're gonna start early. We're gonna take care of this. We're gonna be at 11:00. We're gonna start playing basketball. So I'm like, but man, that's one thing. As a child, I remember Christmas Day. Obviously, you open up the presents and all that. But it was watching NBA basketball the whole day. That's the cool thing, man. And as you got kids, that's the best part.
Yes. Well, and again, the same thing as talking about NFL, right? Thanksgiving was football. Lions versus Packers, or Dolphins versus whatever. If the Dolphins were the Cowboys, right?
Dolphins with Cowboys. We can't forget that game. That's
what I'm saying. So, but this primetime Heat, the Heat get primetime, which is great. Tells you how the league feels about them. The Heat are now back in that national spotlight without LeBron. They got Giannis, and who knows what the rest of the offseason is going to look like for Miami. What else they continue to add, we'll see. But right now, Giannis and Bam Adebayo is enough for the league to say these guys are going on national TV. We want that team on the national spotlight.
People forget, because obviously there was so much movement in the league, and especially the East. Remember, the East went now from being kind of dormant and maybe like 2 or 3 teams. The East is going to be more competitive than the West. And people forget the outreach that the Giannis has. Giannis is arguably one of the most popular players in NBA history. He's a global superstar. Yeah. Not only was he on the court, what he means to fans. He's a spokesperson for so many brands nationally, internationally. So this is a whole different cultural outreach that we have with Bam, and he comes to a very eclectic city in regards to different diversified cultures. So this is perfect, man. And honestly, basketball is good when your major markets are good, like Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Miami, LA. Basketball is good with that, man. And arguably the most important move this year, I know people, Jaylen Brown, but the best player that was moved this year was Giannis Antetokounmpo, and we finally got him. That gets overlooked a lot because of the whole LeBron situation at the end and what Philadelphia was able to do. But remember, that's also just on paper. There's a lot of things that's going to take time. It's going to take time, but definitely the East is going to be fun, man. The East is going to be a wrecking crew. That's going to be a fight to the finish.
The NBA in general is going to be a fun year, man. And
Embiid is healthy. Embiid has lost a ton of weight. He's actually done rehab on his knees. So they have a chance, man. They have a chance to be very, very, very scary.
I'm waiting for Embiid to demand a trade and go to Miami Heat, and then we got that big 3. That's what I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that.
That's just run Bam at the
laugh
3.
now. Go, damn, Bobby, weren't you the one that said I don't know. But anyway, but no, it's really cool. Heat prime time. Oh my gosh, I meant to check it earlier. Marlins. How did the Marlins do today?
Dude, let me check. Let me pull it up. Because they've been back. Hey, that's another epitome of a young team. The highs and lows of the Marlins season, bro.
8-2. 8-2. They won tonight.
They won today?
It's 8-2.
My God.
And they had a monster game the other night. So the Marlins, I think they're 2 games out of the wild card spot right now, behind the Phillies. So, I mean, the Marlins, though, it's just an exciting team, man. I mean, it's just fun. It's a fun young team. If
they are.
If they make the playoffs, awesome. But, a game and a half. There you go. if they make the playoffs, great. But like, I'm really having fun with this team this year. And just, I hate that we lost Hicks and, whatever, but Mac is, but they think about the guys that we got, these prospects that we got in these trades, man. I mean, I don't know, dude.
And the thing is, you weren't going to extend Hicks. You weren't going to, you got rid of them now. You got rid of Braxton Garrett. I mean, not rid of him. You moved them because your future pieces are really, a lot of your future pieces are still in the minor leagues, but you have potential. You get Griffin Conan playing time. Kyle Stowers has to stay healthy. That's the thing.
That's the problem with him.
There's a lot of things there, man. But the catching, bro, Joe Mack is out of this world defensively.
Yeah.
Like, he's the best defensive catcher in baseball to me.
Back to basketball, though. Big news. Russell Westbrook, end of an era. He retired after 18 years in the NBA. This is a guy who, maybe just, I don't know why he retired. I know he was he's connected to a few teams, especially the Heat as one team, but ends up deciding to retire. But what a career, man. I mean, it's crazy. Like, it's a true end of an era, dude. Like, LeBron will be gone after next year, probably. And like the players of our childhood are like out the door. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, man.
And the way he ended, obviously, the top, when Jordan retired the first time, that's going out on top.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to retire while still being an ultra productive player. There's always like a massive decline. But with LeBron, obviously just regular declining, even though his shooting percentage has gotten better. But Westbrook legit went out still feeling that Russell Westbrook can play basketball still for another 2 years, man.
Yes.
He's just a freak athlete.
I was surprised when I saw he retired. I thought he had a couple more seasons left in him. I really did. His, great shape, still productive, produced well. But again, he just decided, look, I want to be healthy. I want to retire now. And, again,
spend time with the kids.
MVP. Yeah. Sucks he never got a championship, but league MVP, he did everything in his career. That's major. Other NBA news, Alex. Lakers sold again, $12.5 billion. Jeannie Buss still the governor of the team, though, for now at least. But Bob Iger and Josh Kushner, now the majority owners of the Lakers. Man, your reaction?
Well, first and foremost, this is driving the valuations of the teams up insanely. But it's also going to affect them in the next next CBA negotiations, because players are going to fight for more money, and rightfully so. These teams are worth, and now with the new franchise fees, of expansion fees that the teams want to play in Vegas and all that, they went for a sure thing. Obviously, the owner, which is also the owner, I believe there's a few of them, but he also owns the Dodgers. He's under a federal investigation. So this sale was very iffy. I know it's to one of the Kushners, like we mentioned, Bob Iger, the ex-CEO of Disney. This is and obviously they have, because they alone are not worth enough to buy the team outright. They're not like Jeff Bezos or like Elon Musk. So they have investors. They have investment firms they're kind of the head honchos for, and they'll be in charge of them. But this is a dynamic that it caught me by surprise, because when you just bought the team 2 years ago. Unless you need the money or you need to pay off,
like just 2 years.
This is and he's deferred a lot of contracts with the Dodgers, man. That situation, I think, is going to end badly too in a few years. The Dodgers have a bunch of money. I think it was like over like $500 million deferred or something like that, or $1 billion deferred for another 10, 20 years, where you invest the money that you defer, and obviously you pay them off, and you basically gain interest, so you're making money. But that sale by the Dolphins and from the Lakers, and the Lakers are arguably the most historic NBA franchise. So the valuation is going to continue. That's like Jerry Jones selling the Cowboys. Like, it's never going to happen, because you can make all that money, but the asset that you have, you own the most valuable franchise in all of professional sports, and that's the Cowboys. You're not going to sell that. And the Lakers are right behind, if I'm not mistaken.
With regard to the value of the Cowboys, I saw something earlier, but I knew, like, the Dolphins. What did Stephen Ross say? He got offered $15 billion or something.
10 billion for everything.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what Miami's worth, around $10 billion, $12 billion. If the Dolphins are worth that, imagine what the Cowboys are worth. I mean, it's crazy the worth of the teams now around the league. And you're right, the Lakers just doubled whatever. I think it was 10 billion they sold for, and then
they sold, bro, a year ago for $10 billion.
So
he just made 2.5 billion. But you see, that's
something's up.
Oh my God, there's
Something
just
stinky.
there's too much coincidence there.
Other news: former Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa will start for the Falcons on Friday in their preseason game. I think Michael Penix is still hurt, so
yeah,
Tua got the inside track. Tua will start. I will say in regards of Tua, I don't know how he's going to perform. I know, I saw some interceptions being thrown in practice, but again, it's practice. I'm not going to hammer too hard on him. But again, if he was to be successful, this was a perfect situation for him.
Exactly.
In regards of coach, in regards of talent around him, Bijan Robinson, freshly re-signed to a brand new deal. Drake London, and
which,
of course,
now that you say that, Bobby, sorry, Joe, do you see the running back market resetting itself?
Man.
That is amazing, man.
Who would have thought the running backs would resurge themselves like this?
Jesus Christ! 2 years ago, we're talking about like these.
Don't give them second deals. Now look. Now look. So well,
yes,
we'll
Anthony,
see.
Yes, he is.
I'm sorry, I didn't see comments. Forgive me. There you go. Of course. He's an MVP. He won the MVP.
First ballot.
Of course he screw Tua in the boat he came in on. Yes, it is. The Falcons have a very fragile room. This news brought to you by Sammy. I'll give Sammy the pass. I created the graphic for this episode. Sammy, obviously, we know is a Tua guy or was a Tua guy, but he did not do it. It was, and of course, the bigger news: school started. Alex,
yeah,
ours
is tomorrow.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right. Son, is your son excited?
Oh yeah, he's super excited. He's already messaged like all his friends. It's funny because now they're like, another thing about us growing up, you had to wait to get to school to get your schedule. Yeah. And then the rush of walking into the classroom and seeing who was there by any chance, or you look at the board where they had like all the schedules stapled, and you're like, you see your name, you're like, oh, perfect, and then you keep reading every name. Now you get your schedule sent to you by email, or they just log onto their portal, and they send each other print screens of their schedules just to see where class. So a week ago, he knew who was in his class, who he wasn't. I'm like, bro, that takes away the element of surprise when you're walking into school. And our schools still do that. You got to wait till you get to school to see. Yeah. Holy shit.
That's right. Yeah, we still do that. You got to see who's in your class and who's on your roster and everything else. That's what we did for Audrey. We had to wait till we walked down the hallway, and then we got to the gym, and you looked at the form and you saw your teacher and you saw who was in your class. And so, but it's just different overall, dude. I mean,
yeah,
again,
of course,
man. I like, Audrey starts school. She'll be in aerospace and class, which is really cool. And she's going to do soccer these next 2 months, which I'm excited for her. She's never been in a sport, so this is her first time. And I'm not doing anything in regards of coaching. I'm totally offhand here, so that's gonna be the first time I'm just dad, And Tristan started school. He's in 4th grade. It's just crazy, dude. Ellie's going to be in her 2nd year, and so it's just it's awesome. Crazy too, but it is what it is. And then she starts high school next year, Audrey. So that's
what nuts. Think about that. What you just said.
I know.
She starts high school.
Alex, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Do you remember the day she was born? Like, remember how crazy that day was?
Yep.
My brother over here drove up from Miami to Orlando to be with us, and then we're like, "Oh, don't worry, just go home." And we're like, "Okay." And he started driving home, and I had to call him back. Alex, actually, it's happening. He turned right back around. And he's like, that's what he does, man. That's who he is. That's
man.
What Alex is, man.
We didn't make it home until 4:00 in the morning.
That's right. They took me out to eat, and they're like, "You got to eat." Yeah. I was like, because I hadn't eaten. And that's, and now we're talking about Audrey going to high school.
Next
man. Year, and she's just a character, bro. Dude. She's special. They're all special, but just nuts. It's nuts. But anyway, talking about something about. Because just talking about my kids make me proud, right, Alex? We're proud of our kids, and just watching them grow and watching them develop personalities and how they respond to things. And, just like Eliana, for instance, just talking about Ellie very quick. She's we were talking to her new teacher yesterday. She had a new teacher, and we brought her to meet her, and they're going into class and all this whatnot. And she was telling us, talk to me about what do you love about Ellie? What do you, and what do you want things to work on? Well, something we love about her is, obviously she's sweet, she's loving, she's everything, but she's also very independent. She's quick to be, she's a literal too. Like I told you the other day, like I was being stern with her brother and her sister.
Yeah.
You guys gotta step this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm telling them. And Ellie comes down the hallway and she goes, hey, and starts talking to me. And I'm like, I just look and I go, as I said, hey, I go, listen to me. She goes, what? I go, listen to me. She goes, what? I go, don't disrespect me. She goes, but that's it. Don't talk back. I say, don't disrespect me. And they all start laughing. That's my joke with them.
Yeah.
Then I go, don't talk back to me. And she goes, because she tried to be funny again. No, not funny, but try to be. And I said, stop talking back to me. And she goes, I'm not talking back. I'm talking forward. And I'm like, the whole, we all like, I wanted to die, bro. I was like, I want to laugh so hard. Anyway, things like that.
Punch you in your throat, but I'm.
Yeah, like I'm gonna punch you in your throat. I'm proud of you though. That was really good.
That was a good joke. That was a good comeback.
High five to your face, but good job. Get up off the floor. You're okay. No,
you're fine. You're fine. Stop acting now. Okay.
Yeah, you're all right.
She's fine. She's fine.
Okay. You're good. But I'll tell you another reason. So as you all know, Anthony says, dude, my nephew's already 3 and it doesn't feel like it. That's true, man.
Bro, it flies
fast. It goes by fast. And high school, I know I'm not looking forward to it, but it's what it's going to be. Let me see here. Sammy, woo! Sammy's there. I didn't see Sammy in there. My boy. Fins Talk today. We'll be live tomorrow. The flagship show. But talking about Dolphins, let's go back to Dolphins for a second and talk about something that's very important. Talk about something that's important to all of us, and which something that's touched all of us in some way, whether personally or friends or family. And of course, that's cancer. And one of the things that I'm proud to do for at least, this is my 4th year doing it, signing up, registering for it, is the Dolphins Cancer Challenge, which is in its 17th year. And last year was the first year that my son decided he wanted to do it. And that was something that, just blew my mind because of the commitment of doing it, having to put yourself out there and ask people to donate and also commit to doing a 5K, which I didn't, I was like, okay, I was kind of mentally prepared for him to step away, or dad, can you carry me? Or dad, can we stop? And they had different, but I'll say he went to school, asked for money, talked about what was for, who is he walking for? Teachers donated, people donated, and then he did the 5K. And I'm telling you, no shortcuts, no stops, no breaks, no carry. He went all the way through, and high energy, and just something I was very proud of. So, but I didn't, I kind of expected or thought maybe he wouldn't really want to do it this year. Maybe he would say, "Oh, I'm okay, Dad. I want to go, but I don't want to go do that." No. When I say, "Hey, son, I'm doing the DCC again. Is that something you want to consider doing? You don't have to." He's like, "Of course, I'm doing it."
That's good. That's good.
And he, without hesitation, he was going to do it. So we both have registered. We're day 1 register guys. Tristan and myself excited about doing this again. The DCC, guys, is in its 17th year and has raised over $100 million to fund cancer research at the Sylvester Comprehensive Center in South Florida. My team, which is the Worldwide Dolphin fans, which is led, of course, by our beloved Ian Berger and 305 Sports Babe Ashley, raised up to contributed close to $50,000 of that $18 million raised last year at DCC 17, which put us put the foundation over $100 million. It was a humbling, inspiring experience, and I was able to share with my 9-year-old son, again, who raised money and participated in that 5K. Very proud that he was so moved by that experience that he's rejoining me to raise money again and participate in the 5K again in February. Listen, as I prepare for this challenge this year, we want to surpass what we've done. So, again, we've all had cancer impact us one way or another, or we know people that it's touched. And cancer sucks. Okay, we know our friend Ian Berger's dealing with it. Dear close personal friends of mine who have passed, Doug Fouts, Lisa Langen, my uncle Joey, my grandfather Ralph the father, all dealt with cancer and passed away from cancer. I would be deeply grateful if, first off, if you would consider donating to the Dolphins Cancer Challenge. You could scan that barcode there or go to my Twitter, hit that link that I posted earlier a few days ago, and donate. No matter what you donate. It could be $5, it could be $2, it could be 10, 20, whatever your heart feels like doing. It matters. It contributes to groundbreaking research. And I'll just say too, it's all donations are tax deductible and all that whatnot, which is awesome. Or share it. Share this image, share this thing. Or if you want to also participate, sign up, walk the 5K, raise money, do something, because we've all had cancer impact us. It's important. So again, if you would love to donate, we'd be grateful. Again, 5, 10, 20, whatever you want to. It's it's all appreciated. Doesn't come to me at all. Doesn't go to the Dolphins. It doesn't split up into multiple rays. It goes straight to cancer research. So there's the donation link. And that is the Dolphins Cancer Challenge TED Talk. We'll talk more about it every day until February to raise more money. So, and shout out to Will Patron for being the first donation for my Dolphins Cancer Challenge fundraiser this year so far. So as I lose my voice, I don't have water. That's what that is. Alex, my man.
My brother, it's a great cause. And not only
TD, brother, good to see you, my man. Go ahead, Alex. I'm sorry.
It's a uniting cause too, because like you said, it has touched every single family out there, whether it be a relative, whether it be a friend, whether it be a neighbor. Everybody knows someone whose life or their family's life was affected or changed completely, a 180, by cancer. At times, even childhood cancer, which is when we kind of talk about before the show, is the innocence of a child having to battle through any ailment, aside from a cough, a cold. Those are regular things. That's part of life. But if there's any hope that could be provided for possibilities of cures for major diseases, not only cancer, these are the moments that you unite as one, and you put your best foot forward. And here, literally, putting your feet forward and forward and forward as you walk for a cause, or you run for a cause, or you bike for a cause, whatever the case may be. So anybody that's out there, please sign up, donate, participate. I'll give you my word. I will be there this year. If you come down, I will be walking with you this year, Bobby. And so will Jamila and the kids and all that. So
I love it. I love it. That's the plan, bro. The plan is me and Tristan or me and family. So
this is true. Get your colonoscopies. I got mine this year. Fun time.
I've got mine too. Not this year.
We didn't go together.
We didn't. We held hands.
Held hands. Okay, you do me.
Look into my eyes as we get through this. Let's look into each other's eyes.
Go to sleep.
Nope.
Which is true.
Stay awake. Look at me.
Yeah. What happened while I was gone? Many things. Many things.
As I spit.
Leche.
The best sleep of my life. That's true. Tati did not want to wake up. Tati did it as well. Bro. I got up okay. I remember. No, that was my hip surgery. But when they were like, Mr. Melendez, you have to breathe. And I'm like, am I not breathing? I'm like, try to waking me up.
God,
I'm like,
Jesus, what's going on?
It's like, I'm telling you, Bobby missed his call to be the QVC salesman. DSG, thank you. TD Finstock in the house, guys. Go check out TD, man. Awesome to see you in here, brother. Thank you so much.
And no, man, we would not survive, Anthony. We would not have survived.
Well, and just again, no. But also, if my 13-year-old said it or my 9-year-old said it.
Oh yeah.
But my 4-year-old, I'm okay. It's we still talked afterwards, but no, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
But anyway,
the tooth curry came a little earlier than
that's right. The tooth fairy. Did you say the tooth curry? Did you say the tooth curry?
Maybe I could have said it. That's what Steph Curry will become when he retires. Tooth curry.
Tooth curry. There you go, tooth curry. But oh man. But anyway, guys, listen. We appreciate it.
Sammy. Yes.
What's that? Oh man, Sammy, that would be freaking amazing.
Let's do it. FTSM.
That would be amazing. If Sammy could do that, I really want to do the fan club weekend. I'm praying that could be the case. I can't say yes or no right now, just because life, and Sammy understands that. But but I really would love to do it because I want to be able to hang out with Sammy and get the crew together, just to hang, but maybe we'll do a live show together or something, but just to hang out.
Yes,
but
yes,
man, if we could all be together and walk together, that would be amazing. That would be an amazing thing. That would be one of the most proud moments for me, to walk with you guys for this awesome cause, an important cause, because cancer's a bitch. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. Cancer sucks, and so, God forbid any of us have to put up with it on our own one day. We could do that, at least do this to say, we're trying to do something. But anyway, to wrap up, to summarize, guys, don't forget, Fins Talk today, tomorrow, live on FTSN, powered by FTSN and Fins TV, sponsored by Caneswear. Don't forget to check out Saturday. Friday, post-game. We will be live post-game of pregame of the preseason game. Sammy, myself, and Finstanza will be live to talk about the Dolphins game against the Commanders and what we saw, what we liked, what we disliked. So check that out. Saturday, I'll be live again. So I'm live yesterday, tonight, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday for WrestleMania 17 rewind. Some people consider the greatest WrestleMania. Maybe some people, Rock versus Austin, but the flagship show, and and it's Sunday. I think I'm off. I don't know, but either way, that's FTSN for this week. You never know nowadays.
You never know.
Macroplastics, ultra processed, genetically modified, all of it. It's killing our colon. Sure. Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know. Colon,
Mm-hmm.
sounds dirty. I don't know. I don't know how much I want to talk about.
It is pretty good.
It's right?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But anyway, yes, Finstanza is back. He made his season debut yesterday on Fins TV, and he's excited about Friday. And of course, overtime should be back with Brett as well. So make sure, do me a favor, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you want to support the fight against cancer, consider donating using the QR code that was shown, or come over to Twitter and hit that link. And if you can't donate, that's okay. Share it with others, or participate. But do one of those three. Like, there's no reason why nobody could do at least one of those three things: donate, share, or participate. You don't have to go to South Florida. You could register to participate and walk where you live. You could, jog in your 3.5 whatever miles, your 5K, you do your bike ride, you can do whatever you want. But there is no reason for anybody not to do nothing. There's no reason. You could have a cold and you could still share the page. Okay? You could donate $5, or you could register yourself and raise money. No, I'd rather die than be a vegan. But thank you, though. I appreciate it. But anyway,
that's a drastic alternative there. Like, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Give me the meat.
Yeah.
I want the meat.
Whoa, leche.
Give me the meat. Bobby doesn't want to, but because it means giving up fast food and Oreos. Is that what she said? I didn't see the.
Yeah. I'm talking about microplastics, and I think that's killing your colon, she's 100% accurate, bro. I got to give it to her. So.
Yeah, she
just
puts all that stuff on her face. So, anyway,
whoa.
No.
What are we talking about here, man? Microplastics?
Yeah.
Is that what you call it?
That's right.
You want some of this MP, baby?
She's so full of crap. First of all, I actually hardly eat Oreos because they don't taste too good. I like the chocolate chips. Oreos have been kind of bothered. Yeah, it left him out. What? I told her that's a natural skin solution, but she doesn't believe it.
It fights acne.
I've said it.
And it
spend
widens
hundreds
your
of dollars
teeth.
on creams, but okay.
Widens your teeth, bro. You don't need Listerine. It widens your teeth.
That's a wrap for East 10th Street Boys. Straight out of Hialeah. Like and subscribe, but most importantly, Miami. Well, Dolphin fans, fins up, but good night, Miami.
Buenas noches.
Yo, gringos in the house. Straight out of Hialeah, no doubt. East 10th Street, where we play out. Here we bring the Miami crowd. Alex, the boy with the D. Step into rhythm, feel the heat. Street vibes mixing with the Latin tree. In our flow, the two worlds